coming to get you, Barbara.
Oh, the devil. The devil.
The power of the dark side.
Hey guys, welcome to Flix and Comix. Jojo here. So I want to say about 2 weeks ago, I watched The Old Guard on Netflix. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to be getting into spoilers with this review right now. So go ahead and go watch it right now and then come back to this video if you so choose. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about Greg Rucka because he actually wrote the screenplay for this movie that was an adaptation of his original The Old Guard comics series that was released by Image. So Greg Rucka has written on several different titles, but Wonder Woman was a big one. He wrote Lazarus. The Old Guard was just another one of his great works. I think it's really cool that Netflix is grabbing all these very talented comic creators and bringing them into the movie industry. I mean, it only makes sense, right? Like, these comic book creators are already writing dialogue and developing stories for their own series. It's not that hard to write a script. I took a couple of courses on it. It's not rocket science. And if they're already doing that pretty much as a career, like, give them a shot, guys. And I'm glad that Netflix is finally like coming around to that and, you know, grabbing all this awesome talent and creating these cool movies that don't have to be the super huge blockbusters that you see with like Marvel or, you know, DC. And on top of that, I feel like the audience, you know, really enjoys it when, especially if they're comic fans, like that these stories are in line at least with what they remember in the comics, because that was a huge discrepancy with a lot of like the DCEU and, you know, the comic book fans not being particularly fond of the way that certain characters are represented. And, you know, it just goes back to, oh, well, the like execs meddled with that movie. That's why, you know, it just didn't do well because they don't understand superheroes or comic book stories. You know, I am just super stoked for Greg Rucka, and he did a great job. This movie rocks. Like, I had such a great time with it. I'm not a huge action fan, like in general, but there are some that really get me, and this was one of them. Like, I was fully enthralled. It was a 2-hour movie, but it didn't feel like it. The action sequences were amazing. Charlize Theron, I mean, is there anything that she can't do? For real. That girl, I think she pulls most of her stunts too, which is insane. You know, I do work for the UFC and I do video editing for them, so I have to watch hours on hours of combat sports, right? So I know what looks real and what doesn't. And I think that's another reason action I get kind of checked out, because a lot of times it looks cheesy. Like, especially, I remember some of those earlier Marvel movies, I was like, I can't handle how fake this looks, you know, the fighting sequences and all that. But yeah, with this movie, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel checked out. It looked real. A lot of those moves were legit. And I can say that, you know, coming from, you know, my own career background. And yeah, so it's awesome to see that. And it's also cool that Charlize Theron is a UFC fan, by the way, too. I posted an interview where she was talking about it in my community tab, so if you want to check that out. She's just awesome all around. And I knew she was going to kick ass in this role, because just think about, did you guys watch Atomic Blonde? Dude, that was insane. Those fight scenes in that movie were also incredible. But yeah, and then you think of Mad Max that she was in as Furiosa. I mean, I am getting slightly worried that she's getting typecasted in these roles, but she's just so good at them. It's kind of like Will Smith, you know, he gets typecasted too, but he's just amazing in the roles that he gets. And it's the same with Charlize. She's not fully typecasted though, but I'm just getting worried she might start being typecasted, because she did star in what was that movie? Bombshell. That was a really good movie, and she shows diversity, but it's just, I feel like some of her most memorable stuff is also like badass chicks kicking ass. The soundtrack was really awesome for this too, very memorable. And what I really liked about it was that they chose the right songs for the right moments, which, you know, doesn't sound like a big deal, but gosh, I've been watching some movies the past few years and I feel like it was way more of a like craft back then to like get the right music, the right moments, and they just haven't been doing that very well recently. They'll get great music, but they don't choose the right moments for it. An example of that was what was it? Captain Marvel. There was a fight scene with I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt, and I just thought it was way too on the nose, and it was a great song, but way too cheesy type of thing. Yeah, just an example. Which, by the way, I was also thinking, speaking of Captain Marvel, wouldn't Charlize Theron have killed that role? Like, she would have murdered. I wish it was Charlize. I really do, because I wasn't so thrilled with Brie Larson's performance. But yeah, come on now. Like, oh my god. She would have rocked it, and I'm sad thinking about it now because we didn't get that, but it's okay. So brief little synopsis, this movie's about a group of mercenaries who have this like freakishly long lifespan going over like hundreds and thousands of years. And you know, they've seen like all of American history unfold, and they've been carrying out their tasks this whole time, and they've been undercover. I really did like the way that they introduced their ability to resurrect. Like right off the bat during the cold open, you see them get caught and their identities get figured out, and you know, they just get shot down and you're like, what the heck? And you know, they basically die, but then a few seconds later they come back to life and they kick ass. So that cold open was amazing. I do think it's a little bit cliche when, you know, you have the main character doing a narration or voiceover of the situation, and you know, you see it's kind of an action trope, you know, or sometimes it's in like thrillers or suspense type movies where it starts like in the middle of a story and you don't know what's happening, but the main character is kind of filling you in and is like, so this is where I died. And then they kind of rewind and let you know exactly how everything happened. It's a bit of like a Tarantino move, but a lot of action flicks do it. I don't know. It's kind of cheesy, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for it. I love it. I think, was it Thor Ragnarok did it? I don't remember which Thor movie, but one of them did it. I think it was Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, I like it. I'm a sucker for it. So yeah, I really liked this. Something I also really enjoyed about it was the chemistry between the characters. Their dynamic was awesome. You could tell, you really did feel like they had known each other for years and decades and millennia or whatever. But yeah, I really did enjoy that. They had that like brotherly, sisterly bond, and they nailed that. So props to the actors and actresses in that. The villain was a little weak in my opinion. It was kind of weird to see one of the little punk kids from Harry Potter be all grown up, and I don't remember his name. He was annoying, but you know, served the purpose, and he played the part well. It's just, I don't know. It was okay. I guess the story was more about developing the mercenaries than anything. So, and later we do see that there's like a cliffhanger kind of moment towards the end of the movie, and so that makes a lot of sense when you're talking about like development of characters, because if we know there's going to be another movie, we know a lot more of their motives, and it's not really about the villain, it's about these guys, the mercenaries. So yeah, I wasn't like hugely let down or anything because the villains weren't great, but yeah, it was a part of the story. It served its purpose. It was really nice seeing Chiwetel Ejiofor in that too. I thought he would play a bigger role, not gonna lie, but he did well in the role that he did play. I think he's gonna be playing a bigger role in the next movie, I would assume. At least I would hope so. Because yeah, I feel like that's like wasted talent right there. I'm kind of glad too that he didn't play like a bigger villain, because I like seeing him as a good guy and he did become the good guy towards the end. So yeah, I really hope to see a bigger role for him in the next movie. If there is a next movie, I really think that there is, because of the way that they left it. And I just found out that they're going to be continuing the comic series. I didn't know that in September. So yeah, that's another reason I haven't read the comics yet. I ordered them, but I kind of put those plans on hold because I found out that, you know, the story was going to be continuing, and y'all know I like to binge read my books. So yeah, that's gonna have to wait, unfortunately. But yeah, that didn't stop me from watching the movie. So that's that. And yeah, guys, this movie was awesome. It was fun, action-packed. Yeah, was it the best action movie I've seen? No. But it was definitely cool and worth your time, I would say. I would definitely check it out, especially if you like Charlize. She was excellent in this, but what's new? She's always excellent. So yeah, that's about it, guys. If you like this video, give me a like or subscribe or both. I don't hate it. And you can catch me on Twitter and on Instagram at Flix and Comix. And I guess I'll catch y'all over there. Later.